In this video, we're going to talk about the lazy daisy stitch. Let's get started. Let's do the lazy daisy stitch. This stitch is really fun. Okay, so first we're going to go in and we're going to make a loop, bring it back to where it was, in the same hole or very close. And you have your loop. Now, what I do, and I kind of do the same thing with the chain stitch, is I leave plenty of room and I pull, then you're gonna come back up wherever the top of the petal is, and you're going to pull it to where it has the appropriate amount of loop that you want. Then you're going to secure it on the other side. And it's gonna look like that. Okay, I'm gonna show you again. Well, I'll show you a few times. So we've got coming up and creating our little loop. I like to just keep a big loop. I do this in the chain stitch too, just because I think it's just easier to see. So big loop, coming back up to where the top of the petal is, pulling it to where I want the loop to be. There we go. And coming right back down. Pulling gently. Okay. If you pull too tightly, it will just basically turn into a line, and you don't want that. So always trying to pull gently. So we're going back through, doing our little loop, and then coming up. The lazy daisy stitch is a great stitch for doing flowers, petals, even sometimes leaves. It's a really pretty stitch, and it's really fun once you get the hang of it. Usually, just got a little, there, tangled up a little bit. Usually I like to do a French knot in the center as kind of the center of the flower, but you don't always have to do that. It's kind of your personal preference. Okay, so my 2 tips for this stitch are to try to make sure that you don't get twisted, which my thread's getting a little small, trying to pull it through. Okay, which is why I try to keep the loop big. The other thing that you want to try to do is put the anchor stitch at the tip top of the petal, because if you put it on the side, whenever you pull the petal, the edge is going to be over here. It's not going to be right here. So, oh, I just pulled it out. Okay, probably gonna have to get some more thread. So then it looks like this. See, if this thread was over here, then the petal would be going over here. So you really want to keep the anchor thread at the very, very top. So I'm going to pull this out and get a new piece of thread. Okay, I've got my fresh, longer thread. So here we go. So I'm coming up through the center. And I see I have a few remnants of my old thread. Okay, and then we're going to go back through. Now I have a big loop I can use. Yay! Okay, now I'm gonna go through at the very tip top to add my anchor stitch. So pull through here, pull gently, so it creates a petal. If I pull too tight, see how it creates like a straight line? So we don't want that. So I'm gonna pull it out a little bit. There we go. And now I'm going to anchor. This just creates like the cutest little flowers. So last one. Put a loop. Try not to make sure it doesn't get twisted. Come up through the top. Okay, and down. Perfect. And this is how you do a lazy daisy stitch.